Hello. Sorting my hair out. Hi. I'm Rachel. I am a healer, teacher, scribe, I want to say, thanks Spirit, author and modern mystic. This evening I am doing some live channeling for you lovelies. So when you join me, please let me know. I'll just wait a few minutes for some of you to join, some of the regulars to join. So while I'm waiting for people to join, interesting things that I have picked up, hey Debbie, that have become quite obvious for spiritual workers over the last few weeks, couple of months. This is a pause, and the pause is there for a reset. And the reset is then, and none of this is probably news to you. You're going, okay, Rach, like we kind of know that everything's on pause at the moment. The purpose is for everything to reset itself, and it's not necessarily about you individually, although this is the space, the time and the opportunity to get rid of any last niggles, any last bits and pieces that you need to work through for yourself. But it's generally a reset for the wider community of which we are a part, because they need time to catch up, and it is our breathing space. Those of you who follow my work regularly will know that I'm very much about light workers and empaths manifesting their life's path, and that includes a comfy lifestyle and all of that stuff that we're entitled to. That sacrifice is not part of the spiritual pathway anymore. That was something that was brought in primarily through the church and the Catholic Church. So this is your time to kind of look at what is blocking me manifesting my life's path, which will lead me into a comfortable lifestyle. So if you're following your life's path and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing with your life, that should lead you into this comfortable pathway. So it is a monetary reset is the biggest thing. So if you still look at money as though it is not a facilitator and still look at it as something which is negative, it isn't. It wants to work with us. It's fed up of working with the assholes that want to take it, and not with the good, decent and kind people who will do the best with it that they can do. If there's still blocks around that, there is another video that I've done with Eloise Burton of Fearlessly Feminine, where we talk about these blocks, and I've also got a blog as well about why it's really important that any of those in spiritual work should charge for what they do. Okay, so I'm just going to open up the space and set the intention for the evening. So those of you who watch what I do regularly, I'll get some channel messages through. Linda's just said, thank you for explaining. I just thought I was on pause due to learning. Not just you. It's if that makes sense, you're only half of the equation, or quite a small bit of the equation. It's kind of readying everything else, which is interesting. There's probably only a few tweaks that a lot of us need to do at the moment, and that is the space for the tweaks. So this space is set for me to share my gift with you, and for you to get what you need to from it. And at the same time, I really relish and enjoy and feel blessed to be in your presence. And that's what I really want those that partake in this evening to feel the same way, that we're all blessed to be in each other's presence. You know, there's a lot of, I'm all about respect and worship, self-honoring and honoring others. And all of those are really important to me. And that's the intention, is the self-honor, the mutual honor that comes through these interactions. Oh, Catherine said she met Money the other day with Eloise when she did an amazing energy, playful and want to be used and noticed. Yeah, absolutely. I did some work with Eloise quite a while ago, and I was like, oh, why did I think Money was bad? She's so sweet. Very much came through to me as a spirit, as a female spirit. Amazing energy. Amazing energy. Right, okay. So today I have had around me Sekhmet quite a lot. I've done some, if anyone is particularly influenced by the moon, now is a good time because we're a new moon energy. If you still can't see the moon in the sky at the moment, then you're still an old moon energy, which is really good for getting rid of anything which is holding you back, anything which feels like it's debilitating, anything which is quite dark and heavy, whether that's personal work, ridding yourself of that stuff, or changing mindsets around that stuff, or if there's anything else in your life which you need to create boundaries around, who might be providing that sort of energy into your life. If you've still got the dark moon energy, then it's a really good time to do it. And new moon is all about setting your intentions on the first crescent, all about setting your intentions off the back of that old moon energy. So what have I rid my life of, and what do I want to bring in instead? That those two things work really, really well together. Otherwise you just end up with a hole and nothing to fill it. You want to fill it with joy and good stuff and love. So it's a pretty good time to be doing work and intention setting. Right. So okay, I don't know who you are, so you're going to have to show me yourself a bit better. Okay, I think I've got two with me and they're both really strong. I actually think I've got, and I'm going to completely mispronounce it, so apologies to the Egyptian culture. I've got Ma'at, which is the, if anyone can correct my pronunciation, please do, who is the Egyptian goddess of weighing the soul, of balance, of karma, and divine retribution is actually how she's introduced herself. Don't know what she means, but she said, when I was young, I used to stare all day at the sun, and all that did was make my eyes hurt. Now I stare at the moon too. And those two things together allow me to see with perspective. The balance, the darkness, and the light that is within all is within all. It just is. Just to focus on positivity is null and void. We must not be harbingers of hate and destruction. But we must not be dumb and numb. The idea that everything in this world revolves around just being positive and love and light will not serve you. It will not serve you. There is darkness within us all. Moments where we hate and we rage and we cry in pain and everything is bitter. And those moments bring us the greatest learning. But we must embrace those moments in order to move forward. Never let go of the fact that you are human. I did not come here to work with spirits from the higher echelons. I came here to work with humans. You are my children. You are my prodigies. There is hate and love, and there is a balance betwixt the two. Neither are right nor wrong, but choose your tribe. Choose your kindred spirits. These are the ones that you can trust your soul with. Do not make that circle too small. Do not make it too large. You may bare your soul to many, but only a few will hear it. These are the ones who walk the way with you. These are the ones who walk the path. Hold them close, hold them fiercely. They will provide you with the support and the stability that you need. They are coming for you. They are coming. You do not walk this pathway alone. You just all needed to be placed. Now the placement is in progress. You will find they will manifest in your life and appear in your life like magic. And you will know them by their soul. Friendships formed in love mutual respect and laughter. These are the ones that hold you close. These are the ones that buoy you up. These are the ones that support you. Friendships formed in business or worry or desire or hatred, mutual distaste. These are not friendships. These are something filling the space, something filling the void. Once you step away and you feel the void within yourself, what is left is love. And those that love you will come to you. Those that support you will hear your calls and your cries in the night. And those that want to be with you will be with you. You do not need to give them anything. You do not need to behave a certain way. You do not need to offer them a certain side of your soul. They will accept the whole of you in love. Even the dark stuff, even the tantrums. For they will know your soul and know the truth. And they will see when you are in pain and they will hold you. And they will see when you are in light spirits and revel with you. And you will do the same. This is where the balance comes from. This is where the balance comes from. It's not just from within your soul, it is from within your group. The balance that is from within your tribe, that is where your balance comes from. Those that hold you support you, and you hold and support them, and you become stronger and firmer and more balanced and more stable. But it's not just about you, it's about the whole. There's no point in working on oneself when you are one self. That one self will draw others close, but do not push them away. Be aware that your circle is opening. Be aware that your circle is growing and invite that in. Now is the time to be aware of when you hold yourself back. Now is the time to be aware of when you push others away. This is the 5 threads that you must weave within your soul, the last lessons. For that is all there is. That is all there is. How do you find wholeness when you are just one, when you have come from wholeness? Your spirit and your soul knows wholeness. It wants the oneness. It wants the whole. It yearns and relishes it. But yet you stumble around in the dark, trying to figure out what that looks like and trying to remember what that feels like. Only by embracing oneself will the whole come to you. And when you are part of your whole, when your wholeness surrounds you and envelops you, allow yourself to sink into it, and your soul will remember what you knew as a babe. That this feeling of wholeness and oneness is bliss. That these are those that you can trust yourself with and who will hold you and have you. And all others will just fade away. All others will just fade away. The beauty that comes from the wholeness can be found within the earth planes. Within the earth planes, you will build your nirvana, your slice of the whole, and you are doing it. The last step is ensuring that you allow others close. So bring them close, children, and you will know them by their soul. I don't know if anyone else can feel anything that I've been feeling, but when she stepped into that feeling of wholeness, it was overwhelming. Like I had to struggle to keep myself where I was, because it was beautiful. And it was this amazing realization that that divinity which we all crave, which is wholeness, being part of the whole, not having to worry about the borders, trusting each other. Not having to worry so much about putting your boundaries up and keeping them up. When you've got that right group around you, that is being in the whole. That is creating that slice of whole here. Just such, if any of you did pick it up, and if you haven't, just spend a moment just trying to feel it. Maat is the goddess with the feather on her head, because she weighs your soul against a feather. If you want to tune into her energy, just such a beautiful energy, and like a stark, dumb realization that of course that's what we're working to. Her saying things like the balance comes from friends. Yeah, that resonates. That feels right. But that almost overwhelming, stark realization that what we're building is our own little piece of own replication of that wholeness, of that oneness, where your souls are as close as they're gonna get as humans. It's just such a beautiful concept that is what nirvana is, rebuilding with your soul group this slice of heaven. And that having people in your life where you don't need to have boundaries with, where you don't need to worry so much about yourself, because you know that other people aren't going to screw you over or aren't going to take advantage of you. Or if they have done something to upset you, that you can say it and they're not going to have a tantrum. Or if you behave like a prat, that they can turn around and say it to you, or they can give you some space to heal and come back to you and say, how are you feeling now? Are you in a better mood? Whatever. That. Hello, Eloise. It instantly resonated for her. Goosebumps. Linda has said it was beautiful and resonated, feeling that I should be respected and accepted and listened to. I've not worked with her that closely before. I work with Sekhmet a lot, who is the way that the karma of the Egyptians is, she's the vessel through which the karma of the Egyptians is meted out on the earth, which is very old-fashioned language, but I don't know how else to describe it, because that's what they've given me. And actually, when you come to spiritually work with them and put very modern concepts and modern understanding, and very conscious understanding on the way that they actually work, is that the two of them work together. And Sekhmet very much works on the real world plane of bringing balance to the real world, which is why she's a healer, because she'll help balance you. Whereas Maat is more to do with this stuff, our mindsets and our connection up, and balancing all of that sort of from the third eye upwards. She's balancing all of that stuff. And the two of them work beautifully together, really, really beautifully. Eloise has said, love this. I'm reflecting on where I was a year ago and realizing how many souls I've connected with. Absolutely. And how I'm finding people like this. It's amazing. I think if there's a lot of people who either because they're sensitive, or because they're unusual, or because they're empaths, have put up really strong boundaries. And if you're still in that state, I've got some really amazing blogs. Please have a look through my blogs about empaths and about creating empowering boundaries, etc. And the idea of empowering yourself is that the boundaries are built in a different way. The boundaries are built so they're not disabling and cut out everyone. They empower you to step into your energy and for your energy to shine, and for your energy to be seen. So you're attracting the right people in. And those that don't resonate with that energy for whatever reason are just going to bounce off it. And as your energy is empowered, you're going to find it easier to say no to the right people, to feel into your gut instinct around situations and around people. And you're going to find it easier to filter people out as you empower yourself. We only learn through trial and error rather than through stepping away. Eloise said, my book too. Yes. Actually, my book, Banshee Heart Healer. So if you're looking for something to sit down which is fun and woo-woo and also give some structure around healing, then my book really does that. Okay, so if you've got nerves around that type of thing, then now is the time to sort of say yes to the right people. Like if there's something you're like, I've always wanted to be friends with them, like they seem like a really cool person, and it might be somebody who you know through a club or through a group, if check in on them, email them, Facebook them, message them, how are you doing, how's it going? There's lots of reasons to start conversations at the moment, and that can be somebody who Claire's logged in on my hi Claire. The messages from me today are actually presented by Claire. It's fine, Claire. Now is the time to step out of your comfort zone and to push yourself. And there's lots of people out there who will help you with coaching techniques, with healing techniques, where you can go out. But yeah, very much part of my group does gather in your soul tribe. That's part of it. Part of healing is gathering in your soul tribe, for that support, for that love, for all of those types of things. Catherine said, I do have trust issues with friendships. We've been there, lovely. Haven't been burnt before, but we'll check the blogs that do. It's hard. It really is hard. But when we look at how that stuff's restricting us, it's amazing how we end up bringing in what we need to bring in off the back of it. That's fine, Claire. Claire said, I don't know how to change it back as it's linked. So it's not me harassing myself. It is Claire, if anyone knows Claire. Okay, so now is the time to step forward, push past all those boundary stuffs, ask people out for coffees that you wouldn't normally ask, and feel a bit weird about doing it because it's totally stuff that I would feel weird about doing. But now is the time for pushing yourself past that. Those people that you just feel comfortable around and you like. Okay. Who have I got? I've got one other person. I've definitely got a room full, but they can't all be here to give messages. And if they are, I'm not channeling to 1 o'clock in the morning, because I think that would be what I'd have to do. Okay, I've got a spirit with me who identifies and feels like the banshee, but she's not the banshee. There's a very strong Oriental or Far Eastern feeling to her. And there's a butterfly association with her as well. So I'm really sorry that I don't know who this mythological being is. And I think she very much would be recognized within the spiritual culture of where she's from. As certainly that banshee energy who helps us deal with grief and loss and death and passing over. There's lots of that sort of energy around her. She's all in white, lots of trails of very long hair going off into curls, very slim and I don't want to say tiny because her energy is not tiny, but she's a very neat little figure with this beautiful big sort of skirt on her, this beautiful skirt, and I can't really see clothing. All I can see is this beautiful big skirt that she's got. Very pretty, very sweet, very quiet energy, but she's strong. She's really strong. She's saying to me, don't let this fool you. I have been around for 1,000 years or more. And I have come to tell you that the time has come for spirits to understand that they need to leave the earth plane. Too many have been here for too long. And they know that it is time to move forward and to move on. But they do not hear my cries and they do not hear my calls. And I come to beseech you to help. Not just me, I think it's you as well, to help. Those of you that live with spirit will know that the energy can flux. And as that energy flux, it draws and drains you. Even a loved one will draw and drain you if they remain too low. Now is the time for them to come. Now is the time for them to gather up and to hold hands and to move forward. And so I call on all of them and on all of you to ask your loved ones to do work that they need to do for themselves. I call on you to stop asking them to help you, because you are capable. You are capable of much more than you think you are. And you know this to be true. You are capable and you are sound and you are savvy and you are strong. You are all of these things and more. And yet you ask your loved ones for help. Your loved ones are not omnipresent. Your loved ones are not endless. They have not retrieved enough of themselves to sit in that energy yet. And yet you ask of them what you should be asking of the gods and the goddesses, the saints and the angels. So now I beseech you, ask your loved ones to do the work for themselves. Ask them to heal themselves. Pray for their souls. Pray for their souls to be whole and at one with God. Pray for their souls to be whole and at one with themselves. Pray for their souls to move up, up, up. Their soul is such a beautiful thing, and yet they do not see it as such. Many see the incapability of their soul through lack of body. They do not understand how much more that they can do and say and help and heal if they were to work on themselves. Time is only temporary. As time is temporary, they can take all the time they need to for themselves, and they will still be there at the right time in the right moment for their loved ones. But they must heal themselves. Ask your loved ones to hold themselves and to pray for themselves and to work on themselves. For this is what is needed for the planet at the moment. This is what is needed for you. For you are far greater than you give yourself credit for. You are far greater than you let yourself know. And there is a truth within your soul. There is a truth within your soul which you have been mislistening to. You hear the whispers and you hear the strength, and yet you doubt yourself. You do not think that this could be for you. You do not think that you could have as much influence as your soul tells you that you have. You do not think that you are as great as you know yourself to be in your dreams. When you were a child, you thought you could save the world, and so you can. Start living in that dreamlike stage. Start dreaming like a child, like a babe, and know your power and know your worth. For you are here to change the world, not your loved ones. You. By all means, speak, talk, pray to your loved ones. Send them your blessings. But do not hold them back anymore. Do not ask of them what they are not capable of. They cannot give you what you seek, for they do not have the perspective to make the changes that you need. There are ones who sit there in the higher echelons who will help you and heal you, and who are limitless and endless. These are the ones who wish to be heard through you. So go to them. Take your loved ones to them. For your loved ones will be whole, and so will you. She says namaste in response, but I know that she's not, as far as I can tell, from Southern Asia. She's very much Eastern European, but the namaste is the blessing. Is a blessing she gives in a common language. She's just said it's a common language, a common phrase that you will all know, and that means something to her. Okay, so I'm going to fall down a Google hole later, trying to figure out who she is. That's really interesting. That's something which I've known for a while, which is that we need to move spirit on, and that there's many spirits existing within the fourth dimension who haven't moved up to the fifth dimension because they're very much attached to their human bodies and to their human lives. And actually, I'd never thought about the power that we have with those loved ones, and putting that out as a common call, and putting that out as a far-reaching request. And I would think it's not just me she's come to. If she's come this far, then I would think there's plenty of other. She's obviously come to me via the Banshee vibration, but I would think that there's going to be others out there that she's absolutely given this same message to. So she wants this message out there, which is that we have to. Has anyone else got a Catholic background and used to put the pennies in the Holy Souls box? Well, my mum was supposed to go and put pennies in the Holy Souls box and went and spent it on chips, but she figured that she was starving, so that the money was better spent on her, and I agree. But it was an energy exchange. It was an energy exchange and a prayer and a blessing to give energy to those in spirit for their own ascension, for their own healing needs. And there's something very pure and very beautiful about just wishing and blessing your loved ones in spirit, not asking anything from them, not saying I need this, I need that, and I need the other thing, but just blessing their journey and asking that their journey is what takes them forward, rather than holding them back. There is always a point where we do end up holding loved ones back, or they hold themselves back for us, and vice versa. But that's so poignant, actually encouraging us to simply bless our loved ones in spirit, and to pray for them, and just to respect and honor them, rather than asking. Claire said, oh, I think that's probably to her little description. She's beautiful. She looks so tiny. Which is why I was thinking, first of all, really? She feels too small to, energy wise, looking at her physical form, it was just so small. And when I felt into that Banshee energy, I was like, oh, there it is. Thank you, Eloise. It's a powerful message. Clara said, amen to that. It's tough to kind of think about our relationship with our loved ones in a different way, but it's also really, really important for them. It's important for us as well. And there are some really beautiful, amazing ascended masters, archangels, mythological beings, gods, goddesses, anything that comes in that vibe, who will work with you and will hear your call and hear your message. And you may want to do something like grab yourself a set of oracle cards of angels, or dragons, whatever it is that you're into, whatever floats your boat. So I've got a Saints and Angels one from Enduring Virtue, was good. I've got a really nice Carl Gray one as well. And I use both of those to get through, who am I working with at the moment? What's going on? What messages have I got from Archangel Uriel? Or, what's there for my personal development at the moment? What do they have to heal me with? One who I get through a lot is Padre Pio, very much a healer recognized within the Catholic Church, but don't let the Catholic Church Association put you off. An amazing, amazing soul. And I actually think another aspect of St. Nicholas, if you've ever connected into the actual energy of St. Nicholas, generous love, which is boundless and endless, and just, when you connect into those types of energies, you're like, oh my God, why don't I feel like this all the time? This is a nice space to be. There's so many amazing beings out there, and no matter what your background, what your cultural background may be, what your ethnic background may be, or what your interests are, what you're really drawn to. I mean, you can tell I'm not very Egyptian looking, but I have a really strong connection into the Egyptian gods and goddesses. I'm not very Middle Eastern, but I'm a really big fan of Jesus and Mary Magdalene and that whole circle. Still a very much vibe with my Celtic roots. So all of us have got Celtic roots. All of us have got Anglo-Saxon roots, who are in this country, who are white in this country. And we connect into all of the European gods. You know, the Nordic gods, very much we connect into. The old Celtic gods as well. All of those gods, if you're more into going, if you're white and want to go for something that's in your heritage, they're all really powerful figures, really powerful figures. Don't forget the archangels and the angels come from the Jewish traditions, from the Hebrew traditions. They come from the Middle Eastern deities. So, you know, whatever resonates with you for whatever reason, go to them for your wisdom. And it's something I've always said as a medium is, you know, if your nan was rubbish with money in life, she's going to be not great with money in death either. She's not going to be the person that you would go to for advice about money or for help with money. You know, my nan was the sort of person where nobody was good enough for her kids or her grandkids. Like, we were perfect. My nan was wonderful in many, many ways. But she's not somebody I'm going to go to for marriage advice or for help with my relationship, because she's going to go, no, they did that and that wrong, and I'm not happy with that, and that's upset me, and off, you know, that would be what she would do. So, you know, we do change as we go into spirit, and we do get a bit of perspective, and we do get a bit of understanding. But unless we allow our loved ones to go through those processes of understanding, or, you know, we're never going to get the advice that we really want of them. And the first thing we have to do is to heal ourselves and them. That's the first thing we have to do, is to heal ourselves and them from the grief, from the loss, and everything else will come. Stop asking them, is what she said. I'm going to call her Butterfly Girl. I don't know what else to call her. She's just told me to look up the kanji for butterfly. So she might be Japanese, because I think kanji is from my Reiki is one of the means one symbol or a set of symbols. I think a kanji is a sound. So she's told me to look at the butterfly kanji, which I will do, and I should hopefully be able to find her name out properly. But it's not a name that I've got in my head for her to hook onto. The way that I channel is it's got to be in my brain for them to find the words and for them to pick it out. Sometimes they'll give me 3 words in one go, which is why you might find me repeating myself, because we don't have a word either in the same language or within humanity that's going to express what it is that they're trying to convey. So I've got to have the stuff in my head for her to use it, and I don't have her name in my head. But that's going to be a fun rabbit hole to fall down. I think my husband thought we're going to sit down and have a glass of wine and some chocolate. I'll be googling Eastern butterfly girls. Oh, bless you, Sarah, bless you. Siobhan has said this resonates with her deeply. Thank you, guys, thank you. I'm gonna go now. As always, I've gone over, like, I think in my head 20 minutes, a half hour, and then I enjoy this stuff too much and I hang around too long. I'm going, if you want to book in for me for any healing or any readings, and I do obviously the spiritual mediumship as well as the life guidance, and the life guidance really is some of that beautiful stuff which isn't from me, it's from spirit. That's just, you know, you will get those nuggets within your own reading if you want to book in with me for a reading. I have got availability at the moment. The availability is reduced at the moment due to having to look after several tearaways in my house who pertain to be my children, apparently. I don't know how I've produced them. So I will love you and leave you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Next Friday is healing, where we're just going to come along. We're just going to do some healing. I don't know how simple or complicated it will be until I get closer to the time and they let me know what I'm going to do. It might be that I find out about what we're going to do for healing next Friday as I channel it, because it is always channeled. And it's always going to be a combination of the Reiki, of the hypnotherapy, of all of that stuff that you would get one-to-one healing through me. I put it, you know, that's what I put into the lives on healing that I do. It's worth a lovely type of reading. Yes, it is, Angela. It absolutely is. Linda has said she would love a reading, but we'll wait till schools are back for peace. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I literally was saying to my kids earlier, you need to leave me alone now. Like, mummy needs her space, like, please. And I've got 2 autistic children, the 8-year-old and 6-year-old, both on very different ends of the spectrum, and who both won't leave an idea once they've got it. My 6-year-old can't not talk even when I've asked her not to. It's the funniest thing. And I've got a 2.5-year-old who is developmentally, in terms of her speech and her gross motor skills, she's a little bit behind, so she needs a bit more attention as well. So yeah, it was one of those days, like, it's Friday now, like mummy's head's gonna burst, unless she just spends some time just doing some Reiki by herself, please, children. Claire has said she's just tried looking for her, and there's some very cool stuff. I will have fun looking, thank you. So I totally get where you're coming from, Linda. Like, wait until you can get some headspace, and also it's that time to assimilate it and make notes, and afterwards and go, oh, okay, I see where that goes. Just having that headspace afterwards, which quite often people might email me 3 or 4 days later and go, yeah, everything's clicked into place now, you know, on a deeper level. I totally get it. I totally get it. Right. If you're watching on catch up, please let me know, as always, because I do like the interaction and knowing that you guys are listening, and I can see how many people are watching, but it's nice to know that you're there and I'm not just talking to myself, because I do enough of talking to myself with spirit. Right, okay, I am going. I will see you later. Have a fab weekend. Oh God, I've just got some Irish quote in my head, which I'm not going to say because I know who it is. It's my uncle.